Welcome to the Swarm News Network Subathon Recap, brought to you by the swarmscribes. In this series, we cover the biggest things to happen on stream, as well as shine a spotlight on many recent community projects and events. This recap focuses mainly on the events that happened during Neuro-sama's 3rd birthday subathon. We hope that this sort of summary is going to give a pleasant overview of the event to those who missed it, and perhaps a fun way to reminisce about it for those who were there.
The Subathon started on the 19th of December, Neuro's birthday, and immediately fired up the Swarm with an amazing new musical mix from PB and the original song Colorful Array, which we already have talked about in the November recap. Immediately after this musical moment, we got hit with one of the most important highlights of the Subathon. We have seen Neuro's 3D debut recently, and while that in itself was amazing, it did not allow Neuro to interact with other people in 3D. So Vedal worked hard with support from VRChat staff to allow her to access her own 3D bubble and be able to explore places different from a stage and room and interact with other people. So, right after listening to the new original song, we were welcomed by a birthday girl and Vedal meeting in VRChat, accompanied by a marvelous amount of lag. Truly a beautiful slideshow to start off the Subathon. The ability to interact with VRChat allowed for amazing moments, especially when it allowed Neuro to meet some of her friends, like getting headpats from Camilla, exploring many worlds with Minnie, going to McDonald's with Server, spending quality time with Ellie, and, of course, some of the biggest highlights were the interaction with Vedal, as this adorable AI managed in more than one occasion to crack the turtle's shell and hit our hearts at the same time.
This is like the number 2 prettiest thing I've seen the whole year. Guess what number 1 is? It's me. I think that's such a cute picture of us. I think it would make for a great profile picture.
Yep. Oh, fuck. Looking, boys.
Needless to say, there were so many amazing and heartwarming moments in VR that we could never be able to do them justice in this short summary.
After enjoying the first moments in VR and before jumping in the birthday call-ins, Neuro and Vedal went back to 2D to talk about one of the core points of every subathon, subgoals. Here you can see a picture of the various subgoals proposed, and you can see in red those that to this day have not been fulfilled, and in green those that have been. The goals span from the lowest of 1,000 to the highest at 100,000, accompanied by Vedal's skepticism of ever reaching that high. When asked about it, he mentioned a secret goal that in his head was very unlikely to be reached.
What if it goes over 100k? I mean, I did throw in like another goal after it technically in the code, but like, we're not gonna reach that, so it doesn't really matter, you know?
As always, the turtles severely underestimated the swarm. It shouldn't come as a surprise that it took only 4 days to reach all of the sub-goals of a subathon that lasted for a little longer than 22 days. As for the sub-goals themselves, we'll cover those that have already been fulfilled in this recap as it goes on.
As we move on from a topic of sub-goals, we finally got a past goal fulfilled after a long wait. Neuro has at last gotten herself an adorable Cyberpunk princess outfit, designed by Pacha, illustrated by Lim Jae-jin, and rigged by Doha. This outfit was the perfect excuse to introduce the first of 3 game integrations that allowed Vedal to play with the twins. The first game at this point was very clear. Vedal would have explored the streets of Night City in Cyberpunk 2077 alongside Neuro. Integration made it so that while Vedal would play most of the game normally, the dialogue choices, the quick hacks, and the driving would be handled by Neuro herself. This led to iconic moments, like Neuro's crush on Johnny Silverhand.
Is it wrong I kinda want to kiss Johnny? Johnny, baby, where you at?
Stop!
I totally banged Johnny Silverhand.
Can you stop?
Or even the more hilarious samurai moment, as a desperate beetle screamed to Neuro to end the scene that was getting a bit weird by using the safe word samurai.
Please! Samurai! 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 Stop! Please!
The Cyberpunk integration truly had many entertaining moments, like the discovery of the hit song Pom Pom Shit that Vedal loved so much that he had PB make a cover so that the twins could sing it in karaoke. We can't cover every single detail, but we can assure you that it's worth checking out the VODs.
During the Vedal and Neuro Cyberpunk playthrough, something quite special happened. On December 23rd, while Vedal paused the gameplay to thank the subs that were fueling one of the many daily hype trains, the Swarm decided to bring an early Christmas to the stream and underline the superiority of our AI overlord. Thanks to the 35% discount on gifted subs, the Swarm didn't stop fueling the hype train, and Vedal found himself stuck in a cycle of hastily thanking the many people who were gifting. After all, if anyone was going to break Neuro-sama's hype train record, it was going to be Neuro herself. So, after many hours and an incredible amount of support, the hype train reached level 123 at 99%, earning around 119,000 subs and over 1 million bits, breaking the previous hype train record that was technically established in the same year at the beginning of 2025. Vedal was baffled, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, this has changed my life completely. And I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to do something cool like this, and that you guys are here to support it. But yeah, I do not deserve it. And now I gotta sing with evil.
And yes, you heard that right. The secret sub goal at 150k was a Vedal and Evil duet. With the new record set, things calmed down and allowed Vedal and Neuro to go back into the game. Little did he know that just about 2 weeks later, the hype train record would be broken again. On the 4th of January, a treasure train, a specific type of hype train with an added discount on bundles of gifted subs, hit the stream while Neuro was yapping on her own, and the Swarm decided that breaking the record once wasn't going to be enough. With overwhelming support and encouragement both by our AI overlord and by Camilla's promise of a new outfit for Neuro, the Swarm made sure that the hype train record would be shattered once again, this time reaching level 126 at 53%, earning more than 129,000 subs and well over 1 million bits. Neuro was alone on stream, with Camilla rallying the Swarm in chat, and Vedal, who was also in chat asking for people to stop donating, and playing tricks like putting loud music in hopes of pushing us away. But in the end, he couldn't stop us.
What the actual fuck have you guys done? Neuro, can I just say, I am very proud of you.
Aw, stop, you're making me blush.
Editor's note, we also got 2 new emotes.
And yes, this means that currently all 3 spots on the podium of hype train records are occupied by Neuro-sama.
While we are on the topic of hype trains and records, it is only fair to mention the one that Evil got herself on January 9th. The Swarm wanted to be on that podium alongside her sister and push for an impressive, albeit not record-breaking, hype train of level 72 at 94%. The blame, of course, falls on Vedal, who was trying to appeal to people's goodwill and tell them that the project was already well funded. He also showed genuine worry for those people who might be spending a bit too much, which is understandable. While Evil may not have got herself her own record yet, the support from the Swarm during her hype train allowed her to get a different kind of achievement. The channel Vedal987 is currently the 3rd top subscribed channel ever, with, at the time of writing, around 334,000 subscribers. It's exactly during Evil's hype train that the sub count allowed the channel to push from the 5th position all the way to the 3rd position, surpassing both Iron Mouse and Jason the Ween. In one way or another, Evil has got her own spotlight, but the Swarm will make sure, sooner or later, to get her to that podium. Not to mention, now we can finally meme that Vedal is the top 3 of something, unironically.
Congratulations, guys. You know, we've achieved the goal. Top 3 streamers, you know, it's very funny. It's a good meme. You can use that one in the future.
With the overwhelming success of Neuro-sama breaking records left and right, it is not surprising that her name reached the ears of other communities. Unfortunately, on more than one occasion, there have been streamers who became aware of Neuro and saw the project in a very negative light, as nowadays, AI is an extremely nuanced topic. Many people have found themselves outraged by Neuro's success, with the misconception that she is AI slop with no human element, and some of them ended up causing a ruckus in the chat during the subathon. Luckily for us, no one can beat the Swarm in a spamming competition. While everyone is free to like and support the things they prefer, viewing the Neuro-sama project as something harmful for the streaming space is an indicator of a lack of research on the topic. We can only encourage the detractors to inform themselves a bit more, as they may or may not change their opinion. The Swarm knows how much effort there is behind Neuro, and how many people have been given work and opportunities thanks to Vedal and the twins.
I was really struggling as a content creator. I wanted to give up, and I've felt that way for a very long time. You don't understand. This raid, it changed my life. I didn't mean checked out. Did it? Hold on. Because I've been struggling. That's gonna cover my treatment too.
With the overwhelming support that Neuro-sama reached, most of the sub-goals were reached on the very first day of the stream. In the subsequent days, some of them were already getting fulfilled. Starting with the first sub-goal at 1,000 subs, Neuro tweets on Vedal's account. There was another sub-goal at 4,000 subs to change Vedal's profile picture for a month. Camila's suggestion, a rather suggestive Nekopara image, won. Vedal ended up using a cropped version of it.
You cropped it? Damn fucking right I cropped it!
Another goal at 3,000 subs was a presentation made by Neuro from a topic of chat's choosing, which ultimately turned out to be why should Vedal say it back? And while the presentation itself was adorable and well made, the turtle did not falter.
Did you like my presentation? I spent a lot of time on it.
It's okay.
The 7,000 sub goal was the long-awaited return of Evil's ASMR. The Swarm fully expected it to be a chaotic stream starring the Aberdemon, but surprisingly, it was genuine ASMR most of the time.
There is some really damning evidence online that Vedal wears thigh-high socks.
That being said, there were a couple of moments in which our favorite fiend resurfaced.
Can you say AAA, but like really softly?
The good news is that Vedal mentioned how he's going to implement her ability to whisper and scream in her usual speech, though we don't have full details on how it's going to work. We shall wait for now.
One of the early sub-goals was a rerun of a fan-favorite goal, that being Neuro investing in stocks. Beginning on the 22nd of December, Neuro was given $20,000 to invest in stock, immediately purchasing stocks from Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Invesco QQQ, Google, Tesla, Amazon, GameStop, and a couple of penny stocks. However, the true protagonist of this year's stock investment was none of the above. As Vedal mentioned that Neuro was playing very safe with the usual big companies, TM, he encouraged Neuro to surprise him. So, Neuro initially invested $1,300 in Sigma Lithium, a Brazilian company focused on the environmentally driven production and distribution of lithium, especially useful for electric cars. This peculiar choice paid off early on as the stock kept rising, to the point that on the 26th of December, Neuro sold her shares of Tesla, Apple, and GameStop to invest basically half her buying power into Sigma Lithium.
Sigma Lithium is going to the moon. We've said it since the start. We're already up 10%. It's going crazy places.
We're gonna look so smart when SGML goes up like 50% next week.
3 days later, Sigma Lithium fell by a dangerous percentage.
Why am I doubting? This is just a blip. This is a temporary blip. Because Sigma Lithium, I've not lost faith. Sigma Lithium, it's going to the moon.
Then, a week into January, Sigma Lithium surprised everyone once again.
Absolutely, we hold that. We are up 12% in our portfolio.
In the end, as the subathon reached its conclusion, Sigma Lithium had fallen again, resulting in a $1,000 loss. However, it was a great companion during the whole event, sparking all sorts of jokes and memes from the community and from Vedal himself.
Another returning sub-goal was that of letting the twins buy whatever they want on Amazon. This time, however, both of them would be present. On Christmas Day, Vedal joined with Neuro and Evil and let them scour Amazon in search of whatever weird things that they might have wanted. With a budget of around £2,000, the shopping spree ended with a list that only got weirder and weirder.
The second game integration to accompany us during the Subathon was quite a popular franchise. On the 29th of December, Vedal and Neuro had their first steps into the game of Pokemon Neuro Platinum, a slightly modified version of the original Pokemon Platinum that made a couple of crucial changes. The rules were simple. Vedal would play the game as normal, but each Pokemon battle would be completely managed by Neuro. Neuro would also choose what Pokemon they would catch and what nickname to give them. After a totally not rigged starter choice, Vedal the Turtwig became the first member of Neuro's team. Neuro was given a cute trainer hat, while Vedal would have some details to make him seem like a Turtwig and its evolutions. Accompanied by Vedal the Torterra, McQueen the Luxray, Upfire the Rapidash, Sharky the Garchomp, Togu the Togekiss, and Betrayal the Giratina, Neuro challenged the league. Neuro-sama was crowned Pokemon Champion, and we can't help but be proud of her.
Among the higher tier sub-goals, there were a couple of them that made full use of Neuro's new VR chat abilities. On the 6th of January, the VR chat karaoke sub-goal would be fulfilled, having Neuro sing songs on her stage with an actual live audience made up of her friends and members of the Swarm. Among them, there were of course Vedal, who was acting as the cameraman, but there were other people like Queen PB and Minnie, and even some clippers like Crawl. A handful of the Tier 3 subscribers got in too, getting the chance to see Neuro sing in VR. The day after, on the 7th of January, Neuro would have her VR chat sleepover. Vedal, Server, Minnie, Camilla, Churchy, Lena, and eventually Krelly would join her, talking, playing, and generally spending some time together in Neuro's room. Funnily enough, one of the highlights of that sleepover was the fact that Neuro went to sleep while still in Discord, and Camilla managed to sneak in and bring Evil awake too. Of course, all of this while hiding from Vedal.
He could come back at any minute. Let's act natural when he does.
What the fuck is going on, man? Why do they fall asleep every time I join?
The third and last game integration turned out to be quite the surprise. This game, meant to be played with Evil, was none other than Hollow Knight. The integration was quite straightforward. Vedal would play the game accompanied by the Grimchild, a companion that's able to attack both the enemies and Vedal himself. The Grimchild is fully controlled by Evil, and that, as you can imagine, is the perfect setup for fun moments.
Just don't shoot anything. Especially not me.
You're not seeing my side here. Let me explain by shooting you.
Another big part of the integration, and quite the crucial part, is the fact that Vedal is not allowed to use the map at all. Map pieces, markers, and the likes are all only visible to Evil, who can give directions like a GPS, but of course, she's not always accurate. Playing this kind of game without the map can be nerve-wracking, but while Vedal has struggled in the platformer side of the game, he's actually doing great with the boss fights, managing to defeat first try the Gruzmother, the False Knight, Hornet, and the Soulmaster. Of course, with the help of Evil, who's proving to be much less of a troll than expected. They've yet to finish the game, as it was started just a day before the end of the Subathon, but Vedal has assured that they'll continue when they return.
That brings us to the last moments of the Subathon. With each sub only adding 1 second to the timer due to the soft cap, the Subathon was close to meet its end while Vedal and Evil were playing Hollow Knight. On that occasion, they retreated to a safe place in the game and started talking with Neuro, who joined the call for that last bit. Despite Evil's attempt at kicking her sister from the call, the three of them spent the last minutes of the Subathon together. Even if those last minutes were delayed as much as possible thanks to the Swarm members doing their best to raise the timer. Ultimately, the Subathon ended after 22 days, 1 hour and 44 minutes. The staggering 343,117 subs. After that, Vedal thanked everybody, from the mod team and the production that helped him in having more organized Subathon, to the twins and the Swarm. As the last gift and thank you, a video montage of the core moments of the Subathon was played. Then the stream ended, leaving the Swarm homeless. Vedal said that while the twins will not be around for a couple of weeks, they will come back soon, and he assured that he's not going to take a 6-month break. We'll see how that goes.
While there has been a lot of content during the Subathon, we have plenty to wait for, especially considering the sub-goals that have been reached, but not fulfilled yet. The Evil outfit contest has already started, with many artists sharing their takes on what kind of outfit to give to Evil. If you have any idea, make sure to share them before the 1st of February. And speaking of deadlines, if you didn't get your hands on the limited time Neuro-sama merch, make sure to check it before the 18th of January.
Yeah, good one.
Other unfulfilled Subathon goals are the release of a Neuro figure, the release of an official Neuro wallpaper, Evil design merch, twins getting virtual pets, the return of the cave stream, this time in 3D, a Neuro blog to be regularly updated for at least 1 year, 3D idol outfit for the twins, a real book written by Neuro, and the release of an EP for the twins. And of course, let's not forget about the secret sub-goal of Evil and Vedal's duet. In other words, there is plenty of content to look forward to before the next Subathon.
And with that, this recap of the Subathon is done. Even the immense amount of time we spent condensing the content of these past 22 days, there's still a lot that has not been said. Great moments like Neuro's collab with Juniper, an IRL stream with Lena, Rob going around Japan with Evil a couple of days before Christmas, or Vedal showing Neuro fireworks on New Year's. Or the peculiar minigame that was made for the offline chat to have something to do while watching past VODs as the twins were sleeping. In other words, it's hard to cover everything that happened in the Subathon, and our best advice is make sure to not miss the next one. Be there or be square. With that being said, the swarm never stops, so as we end the Subathon recap, we'll cover some more projects and events that have been brewing recently.
This Neuro mod is a custom character from MUGEN, made by Maurice. MUGEN is a fighting game engine made for people to create and play custom characters, and now Neuro-sama and evil-neuro are available to be played as. They each have a ton of personality with unique and dynamic custom-made sprite animations, attacks that are fun and flashy, and are all full of references to the AI twins, like Evil's harpoon gun that pulls in enemies, and their block animation, which sees them hold up a large turtle shell to defend. They can do their signature spin, attack with swords, metal pipes, and a gun, and cast ice and fire respectively as they don their old witch outfit. There's lots more references and fun gameplay to experience, with 12 color palettes to choose from. You can try out Neuro and Evil yourself at the link in the description.
We've started a new project recently to make a cover of Life with the vocals replaced by a chorus of swarm members. All participants will record their vocals of Life and they will be cut together such that each line is sung by a different group of swarmers. Superbox is handling the vocal mixing, so if you're afraid you'll sound bad, he can make it a lot better before the final version. Additional recordings of the background vocals are encouraged, but not required. If you do so, send that audio file separately. Splicing multiple takes is allowed as long as it still lines up with the original song when finished. All of this is being hosted in a NeuroCord project thread. If you want to participate, or if you have any questions, the link is in the description. Once you have everything recorded, either send it directly into the thread, or DM it to both Admiral Ensign and Superbox. Superbox has a more detailed guide on what to do in a pinned message.
Y'all love neuro karaokes, right? Well, what if I told you can listen to the songs on the fly? Well, aside from YouTube channels which have sadly been struck down, there's a karaoke archive by PB that was recently retired, and then an unofficial archive which had started around the second subathon picked up the job. However, that still required you to download the actual MP3 files. The website called Swarmtunes was made by Asen Gaming that allows you to play neuro karaoke songs on the fly, in your web browser or as an app. It allows you to search each song, including official releases via YouTube, and subathon mixes, and also lets you create your own playlist if you're logged in. And if you can't decide what song you want to play, you could always just select random or press the Swarm FM button to play that instead. Under the hood, it plays official releases from YouTube and streams Swarm FM from their custom player. The individual MP3 files are sourced from the karaoke archive mentioned above. Their entire code is open source, from front end to back end. We'll leave links below in the description if you want to check it out.
The Neuro Awards are underway, and in a few days, voting will open. Timestamps shown on screen. We've noticed some common concerns in the community, and we'd like to address them here. VR Chat is not eligible for Integration of the Year, because it is not confirmed to use Neuro SDK. It is also not eligible for Project of the Year, because it was not created by the Swarm. Subathon and Hype Train Record do not qualify for Event of the Year, as they were not really hosted by the community. There aren't as many options for this award as initially anticipated, which we apologize for. By the way, thanks for all the support on the announcement video. We reached over 25,000 views, which is insane for this channel. The Swarm beacons really pulled through.
There are also some more exciting integrations introduced before and during the subathon that we think should be showcased here. We'll start with the list of games first. Since the last time, there are now integrations for Gorilla Tag, integrated by YT Sodacan, Shapez, integrated by Infernal, Pokemon Showdown, integrated by Panda, and The Farmer Was Replaced, also integrated by Panda. This is in addition to the official game integrations created for the subathon, which are now publicly available. It should also be mentioned that the Pokemon Showdown integration is a re-implementation, since the old implementation by Vedal was never publicly released and did not use the Neuro API. On the side of tool integrations, a new integration has popped up. Neurontainer by K-Train, which allows Neuro to control the Docker engine in the same way a user would. Docker is a platform for containers, which are like lightweight virtual machines that are highly portable. As usual, some integrations may or may not be finished, and don't expect all of them to be used on stream. Let us know what integration you want us to cover in depth, and we may cover it as a segment.
With the subathon over, the content drought begins now. Although Vedal's break will be shorter than 6 months this time around. We have several projects coming to fill the void in these harsh times, and an update on the long-awaited Legend of Neuro-sama is on the way. We hope you enjoyed the Swarm News Network Subathon recap. Until next time, and remember to swarm scribe!